Hi Martha, thank you for coming in to see me today. My name's Anna and I'm a registered dietitian. How are you doing?
I'm a little nervous, I've never been to a dietitian before.
Well, that's okay to be nervous for your first time coming to see a dietitian. So let me ask you, what do you think the role of a dietitian is?
Since I've never really seen one before, I'm not really sure. I don't know, don't you help you with weight loss and things like that? But yeah, diet plans, that's all I know.
Okay, well, you're on the right track. I do help some clients with weight loss and I do help some people with their diet. But my main goal as a registered dietitian in counseling is to help guide you with your goal setting and help you make lifestyle and diet changes to go along with your medical diagnosis. How's that sound?
Oh, I never knew you did all that. So you're kind of like a coach?
Yeah, in a way, I guess I could be like a coach. So, Martha, I saw that your doctor referred you to me for obesity and chronic constipation. How do you feel about those diagnoses?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not feeling very good about them. I just went through a divorce and, I have a history of depression and, bipolar, so adding, obesity to the list doesn't really, make me too happy.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear about your divorce. I know life changes that big can be really, really difficult, so I understand why you might be going through a tough time. You mentioned your history with depression and bipolar. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I wasn't doing that well a couple of years ago. I actually was briefly admitted to a psychiatric hospital, but I'm doing a lot better now that I've been on this new medication, Lamictal.
It's great to hear you're doing a lot better now. So let's take a few steps back. Your doctor mentioned that you have chronic constipation. What are your problems that you're generally having with that?
It's a little embarrassing to talk about, but I only go every 5 days or so, and when I do go, it's really difficult.
So what I'm hearing is that you don't really go to the bathroom a lot, and then when you do, it's really hard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm experiencing.
Alright, well it's actually a really common problem for people, and it can happen for a lot of reasons. Would you be okay with me sharing a little bit more about constipation?
Yeah, I don't really know what's happening with me, so yeah.
Okay, so a lot of things can cause it. The most common would be lack of fiber in the diet and dehydration. But it can also be caused by obesity, lack of physical activity, medications, and then sometimes it's caused by conditions like IBS. How does that sit with you?
It's very interesting. I can see why I'd be having these problems since I was just diagnosed as obese.
Yeah, that's right, your doctor did mention your obesity diagnosis. So, just to get to know you a little bit more, Martha, what's your day-to-day routine like?
So I go to work, and I work a desk job, and then by the time I get home, I'm, exhausted, and so I just lay down and relax.
Well, you sound like a hard worker.
Yeah, I am a hard worker.
I hear you. So, since I'm a dietitian, I'd also like to know what your meals are like. What do you usually eat during the day?
Yeah, so I wake up and I have really bad time management in the morning, so I just take my meds with some orange juice. I get to work and then I'm starving at work, so I usually get whatever they have, or I'll go to the sandwich shop nearby, get a nice sandwich. Then I get home and like I said, I'm exhausted. So I order takeout, but I'm only able to eat a little bit of it because I get really gassy and bloated at night.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you don't eat breakfast, you don't have a lot of time for that, and then you go to work, you're really hungry, so then you have a huge lunch, and then by the time you're at home, you're so exhausted, you just have a small dinner because you don't feel too good, right?
Yeah.
Right, well, I also noticed that you didn't mention drinking water at all, is that right?
Yeah, I don't really like the taste of water, just plain water, not a fan. I usually just drink I have my orange juice in the morning, and then at work I just have Coke or Sprite.
Okay, well it's really good that you know what you like. I have some more information about your diet and what you eat and how that affects constipation, if you're okay with me telling you that.
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
Okay, great. So, like I mentioned before, constipation is most commonly caused by a lack of fiber in the diet or from dehydration. Do you know anything about fiber?
No, I don't, so I'm all ears.
Okay, so fiber is a type of carbohydrate that our body doesn't digest, so it can't use it for energy. There are two types. One speeds up your GI tract and the other slows it down. So the type that would help constipation would be the type that speeds it up. And that can be found in a lot of foods like vegetables and whole wheat, beans, and nuts. How does that sound to you?
It's really interesting. I had no idea that that fiber had such an impact and was in so many foods. You mentioned dehydration. What about that?
Well, dehydration means you're not getting enough fluids in your body. So what happens with constipation is that it dries out your stool and makes it hard to pass. How does that sit with you?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Right, so Martha, let me ask you, now that you have all this information, how do you think that eating more fiber and drinking more water may benefit you?
From what you're saying, it sounds like if I eat more fiber and drink more water, I'll have an easier time going to the bathroom.
Right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel you could actually go and make those changes and drink more water and eat more fiber?
Like a 5?
Okay, well 5's not too bad. What makes it 5 and not something lower like a 2 or a 3?
Well, the whole idea of like new foods really excites me. I would want to try the things you mentioned that have fiber in them.
Okay, well that's great. What makes it a 5 as opposed to something higher like an 8 or 9?
I just don't think I could drink water. I mean, like I said, I just don't like the taste of plain water. It's really not for me.
Okay, well there's nothing wrong with not liking water. I've actually had a lot of clients that feel the same way as you, and they just don't like the taste. But they've found some ways to work around that. I could tell you about them if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what your other clients do.
Okay, great. So some of my clients have gone and added flavor packets like Crystal Light to their water, and that's worked well for them. And then some other clients that I've had have just bought flavored water. You can buy it in bottles at the grocery store, or they've tried flavored seltzer waters or just regular seltzer water. Maybe you just need a little texture change. How does that sound to you?
That actually sounds really good. I love the taste of my orange juice, so maybe if I could find like an orange flavored packet and I just add it to my water.
That's a great idea, Martha. So for fiber, what are some of your favorite foods?
Like I said, I go to the sandwich shop right by my work, and so I really like bread. Big fan of bread, yeah.
Okay, well, bread is delicious. And I did mention before that whole wheat is a really good source of insoluble fiber. What kind of bread do you usually order on your sandwiches?
It's usually white bread or flat bread. I really like that.
I also really like white bread and flat bread. They're really, really yummy. But how would you feel about maybe switching out your order and asking for wheat bread on your sandwiches instead?
That sounds doable. And I could even buy a loaf of whole wheat bread at the store and try and make myself some toast in the morning,
That's actually a fantastic idea, Martha. You may be better at this than me.
Oh, stop. I'm actually starting to get really excited about this.
You should be excited. So let me ask again. After coming up with all these great ideas, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the least and 10 being the most, how confident do you feel now about being able to add water and fiber to your diet?
I'd say now that we have a plan in place, like a 7.
Okay, well 7 is a really, really good number. What made you change it to a 7?
Like I said, I really like having a plan, and I like knowing exactly what foods to go for, and I'm not 100% confident though, because, I'm worried that I won't be able to drink water, do the flavored water and the toast every single day.
Okay, great. Well, it's really good that you're more confident. And it's also totally fine that you're a little bit worried. That's normal. So how about we set it up like this? We can set it up as an experiment, so there's no way you can fail. So all you have to do, you just try out adding more water and fiber. You try out mixing the flavored waters and switching up your breads and making toast and see how it goes for you. How's that sound?
Yeah, I like the whole no way I can fail thing. Still though, I don't think I'll have time every morning to make toast.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you're still not 100% sure about being able to make the toast.
Yeah, I don't have the best time management in the mornings.
Okay, well, how many days a week do you think you could be able to make toast?
It's 2-3 times a week, including weekends.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. You could set that up as an experiment and try to make it 2 or 3 times a week. If that works for you, then that's great. And if it doesn't, then we can go and find another plan. How does that sound?
Sounds doable.
Awesome. You did mention that you're a little bit worried about the flavored water too, right?
Yeah, I just don't know if I have time to put the flavor in my water every single day.
Well, Martha, time management can be a really tricky thing, but there's a lot of ways to work around it. How would you feel about going and mixing the flavor packets into your water at night?
Oh, I actually never thought of it that way. That's a really good idea. If I do that, I'll just put it in my fridge and then grab it before work in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. You seem a lot less worried now that we set this up as an experiment.
Yeah, you're right. I am a lot less worried now.
And I'm happy to hear that. So Martha, how about we go and summarize everything we've talked about? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right, so right now we decided that you're going to experiment and see how adding more water and more fiber to your diet affects your constipation before our next meeting. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and mix those flavors like we talked about into my water so I can bring them to work. I'm gonna try to make whole wheat toast in the morning, as often as I can. And I'm also gonna get whole wheat bread when I go to the sandwich shop instead of white bread.
Awesome! So it looks like we're running out of time. Do you have any more questions for me before we go?
No, but I mean, I'll write them down like next time we meet if I can think of anything.
Okay, well then when would you like to meet next?
I can do it in 2 weeks. Is that okay?
Okay, 2 weeks would be perfect actually. So I want to thank you again for coming in, and it was really nice meeting you, Martha, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you so much. It was really nice getting together with you.